Hey everybody, this is Josh from Rupa Ayurveda, and I wanted to make a short video here to help you understand Vastu for the front entrance of your house and ways that you can improve the health by which direction your house is facing and where your entrance is at. I'm going to give you a couple quick remedies too for each of the directions. So the front entrance, first of all, is a very important theme in Vastu. For those of you familiar with astrology, this would be our first house or our lagna. And this is the way we present to the world. This also has an effect on the overall health of our bodies. And so having a healthy front entrance to your house is always a really important thing when practicing Vastu. We can also use the front door to kind of analyze the state of being of the people living inside as well as ourselves. So a lot of emphasis is placed on picking a good front entrance door, and then the one you have, making it as good as you possibly can. Sometimes we move into places we don't always have control over where the front entrance is, so I'll give you a couple tips for each of the directions. Firstly, it's very important in Vastu to have a clean and well-kept entrance to the house, as well as the front door. So what this means is not a lot of clutter, nothing physically blocking the front door. It's generally not advised to have big plants right near the door that may in some way obstruct the entrance, or a major telephone pole that you see directly once you walk out of your house. So when you leave your house, this is also kind of a way in which you step into the world, and we can think of this as sort of a portal in that sense. So what's coming and going out of your house is going to be a critical thing. So make sure the front door is in good working condition. If it needs a fresh coat of paint, paint it. There shouldn't be a lot of creaking or cracking or unnatural slamming to open or shut it. If the door is in poor shape, one of the best things you can do from a Vastu perspective would be to replace or repair the door in whatever way that you can. Having a well-colored and welcoming front door is also going to be a very positive thing from a Vastu perspective. The front entrance is where most of the energy tends to come and go from our house at. So having this to be in as good a state as possible is going to also provide the best flow through our house. A couple other things that we can also do at the front entrance is to have some sort of protection in one form or another. A couple really popular and easy ones to do if you're drawn towards some of the Hindu deities. Ganesha is very popular. Placing a Ganesha directly above your front entrance. Some people think it's better to place on the inside, some think it's better to place on the outside, some do both. I've always leaned more towards at least having it on the outside of the house. You can also place a picture of Goddess Lakshmi, and that will also bring luck and prosperity to the house as a whole. And one other simple thing that we here in the West might find very easily accessible is a horseshoe. So this is always seen as very good luck. To have a horseshoe facing upwards, so you want it as like a U, and having that directly above your door frame is also a very auspicious thing to do. The first direction I want to talk about is having an entrance that faces to the north. The north is considered a very auspicious direction, particularly the more it leans to the northeast part of the northern side, all the better. This is ruled by the planet Mercury, and the Kubera is the residing deity. And this often brings a good sense of overall health and wellness to the inhabitants of the house. It's good for communication, prosperity, and overall just well-being. So anytime you see an entrance in the north, that's always going to give good qualities to the house itself as well as its inhabitants. If you want to improve the entrance in your north-facing house, a couple of things that you can do is to have some green plants in the front house area. Crawling vines, things like that are always good. Again, you want to make sure that the door itself and the entrance itself is fairly clear and open. You don't want any obstruction or any blockage. You generally don't want any big shadows or anything also crossing the front door. But having some green plants, something that brings some life and vitality to the north, will support this. This is considered a feminine direction in Vastu, so if there needs to be more feminine energy in the house, improving the northern side of your residence as well as your entrance would be a good thing. You can use the colors of green, which are colors that represent Mercury, so shades of green. If you have a weak Mercury in your chart, you can also really put more emphasis on green or brass in this direction. If you have an entrance to the east, that's often considered the most auspicious direction. This is ruled by the sun. The deity is Indra. And the sun represents health, prosperity in general, illumination, inspiration, all these life-giving things. And as the sun comes up in the east, this is also why having these facing residence is always considered a good thing in Vastu. So if you need some help with an east-facing entrance, a couple remedies I really like is to put an actual sun on the east side of either your house or outside of your front door, either above or on your door or right near it. You don't want it too big. Generally speaking, maybe not much more than maybe 12 inches or so. But this will help increase vitality and inspiration in your house, as well as overall health and well-being. The sun is the karaka for health, so we always want to support our sun in both astrology and Vastu. Having open windows and fresh breezes coming from the east, make sure there's plenty of windows on the east that are open or allow light into the house is always going to be a very important thing to do too. You can also, if you have enough area, putting a little water feature, something on the east, particularly in the northeast side of your residence, will help with money and spiritual flow into your house as well. If you have a house that's facing and your entrance is on the west side of the building, this is ruled by Saturn. The ruling deity is Varuna. And this can be, Saturn's not always seen as the best direction, but this can actually bring a lot of prosperity into your house. So monetary wealth and a strong, stable house is very possible with a west side facing entrance. It's probably going to be something that's going to come with a lot of hard work. It won't be something that will flow too easily. If you do have a west-facing house, you want to make sure, again, that there's not too much clutter or things in the way of the entrance itself. One remedy I really like is to place a bird feeder on the west side. Saturn loves birds, particularly blackbirds and crows, things like this. And so feeding birds outside the west entrance of your house will help to mitigate any of the negative effects of Saturn. And lastly, if you have a south-facing entrance. If you have a south-facing entrance, it's not often seen as a great direction to have an entrance that's ruled by the deity Yama, which is the god of death, and the planet Mars. So it's a very fiery direction. It's not the end of the world. If you have a south-facing entrance, there's plenty of people who can thrive and do great with a south entrance. Particularly if you're on any type of spiritual path or something like that, this is a direction for renunciation and things like that. If you're not on a path of renunciation and you don't want to renounce the world, it's good to pay maybe a little bit of extra attention to your entrance if it is on the south. A couple things that I like to do is to place either a picture of Hanuman above your door, and it should be more of the fierce and tough fighting Hanuman and not so much of the caring, compassionate Hanuman. You can also place lions. This is used in Feng Shui a lot, right? So these lion statues on either side of your door, or somewhere near your entrance, gargoyles, things like that. You want something kind of strong and fierce, and this will scare off death. You can also, if you have these available, I brought one to show you, but you can place a tulsi mala, which is just these tulsi beads, right near your front entrance too. And last and a very simple remedy is also to place a yellow string above the door itself. So if you do have a south-facing door, don't fret. It's just good to put a little extra emphasis on making sure that the entrance is healthy and supports everybody inside. Mars represents strength, passion, dharma, and can be a little bit strong and overbearing at times. So we just want to make sure we tone that down a little bit. One other thing you can do, I didn't mention, on the west side, or any side of your house really, is to place wind chimes. Wind chimes are always seen as very auspicious things. It's better to place more metal wind chimes on the west side, as well as the north side of the house, if that's where your entrances are. Wood wind chimes will do better on the east side. Earthen wind chimes are better in the southwest corner. This is the earth element itself, so using earth products in that corner are going to be the best idea. So wind chimes always bring auspicious energy into a house. Again, don't get too scared by any of this, but pay a lot of attention to the front entrance to your house. It'll give you a lot of insight into what's going on with you health-wise, your happiness, your finances. And these little simple remedies I'm teaching you will help to improve that. Hope this is helpful. If you'd like to do a consultation, it's always good to dive in deeper into the overall picture of your house to get a sense of what's going on. I'm available for consultations. You can go to my website at rupaayurveda.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this and want to see more, like this video and subscribe, and I'll keep posting. Thanks so much. Take care.